you're fine. Thank you for the words, ma'am. This is Kevin speaking and responding. I think that I don't disagree with anything that you said. What I will say is that I think it's important not to put words in people's mouths. I never said that I didn't understand where my mother got it from. I was very clear. I said this is we have a residual memory of
Okay,
things.
Mike, I'm not sure if I'm still on or
Yes, you're
off
still
or.
on.
Yes, ma'am. You're still
You're
on.
still
Okay.
on. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Yes.
no, that was basically what I wanted to say because it kind of irritates me because I grew up during the Jim Crow era, and I
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, the people on this call, they've never seen anybody hung. They've never seen anybody. In particular, I remember a pregnant woman that was about 8 months pregnant that was hung, and they cut the baby out of her stomach after they hung her, and then took the back of the axe, and bust the baby in the head. I mean, these are the kinds of examples that go with those monuments that they're having so much they don't want them taken down. Those are the kinds of memories that a lot of the people in the South, those are our memories. It's not, we have a nice little statue here of one of the generals that was in the Confederate Army. No, those things were put there to remind you we're still in charge. And regardless of what they say on paper, you're still going to be a slave to us. And that's where we are. That's why we haven't moved forward, because that is still in the memory of a lot of our Caucasians, that we don't care how much education you get. We don't care how profitable you become. To us, you are still our slave and you're still our property.
I agree. I don't have anything to
Wow.
dispute that. I agree with you, ma'am. I agree with you.
Wow. And
Very.
thank you, Janice, for your comments. And of course, that was very powerful. And I have to admit, I've never seen anyone hung. I've seen a lot of things over my police career, but certainly something like that would have made a lasting impression. And that just gets back to the point. And Kevin, we appreciate you hanging with us. And this discussion has just spurned a whole lot of conversations and the like, so that we could get some comments on. I want to also emphasize that we have some other comments from Prince George's County, or a resident of Prince George's County, Maryland. That's, I guess you all had gotten on the point of police brutality, and said, as a resident of Prince George's County, I had not heard of the different incidences of police brutality. We are not properly made aware of the details of the situations, or it is not communicated to the public. It is not that we are affluent and don't care. We don't know. I personally have sons that are, and the message goes off here. I apologize, but we had some issue with that, are young black men who are often stopped by the police. And I personally worry when they are out at night. Why would we not care? Also, with the police departments across the nation, I think that part of the problem is a lack of training and evaluations of the mental health of policemen and their interaction skills in critical situations. My 2 cents. So again, you have, and that was from a resident of Prince George's County, Maryland, and so, and of course, Janice was calling from Ohio. So, Kevin, you really hit on some nerves this afternoon, this evening rather, and I think particularly when you have a caller that is really still impacted by a hanging she saw decades ago,
Yeah.
just tells you the pain that this whole Confederate thing causes people, the symbolism of seeing people hung, or of the whole Jim Crow era, or of people being hit with water hoses and dogs. And there's another comment that just popped in that I have to share with you too. You're lighting it up today, Kevin. I want to tell you. Phil from Maryland says, should we have a statue of Hitler in the museum? Don't repeat this. That thought is going back and forward. And so I think the symbolism, Kevin, that you referred to earlier is really very strong right now, just in terms of how those memories have impacted the African American community, which is why it's so significant that you're even now seeing Mississippi taking the Confederate flag off of their state flag. Shows that, again, the symbolism is gone, but where do we go? How do we get forward from there?
Wow. I appreciate this conversation. I think it's been rich. That's why I'm just rolling with y'all right now to, I need to run, but I think that, it comes back to we gotta stay organized and keep pushing policy change. That's what's really what it's about, and also creating independent spaces for ourselves. Because I love the fact that people are talking about supporting the black banks that are out there, supporting HBCUs, and encouraging more of us to go to HBCUs, supporting black-owned businesses that serve our communities. Because I think there has to be levels of empowerment. It doesn't mean that we don't want to work with anyone else, but we know that you can go to any community in the country. Here in New York, there's a Chinatown, there's a Hasidic Jewish community, there's an Italian community, there's different communities. And so we should never be apologetic about doing business in our own communities as well, even as we work with the larger communities. It's not an either or, it's both. It's kind of to Brother Phil's point. I think about basketball a lot. This whole inside-outside game. You got folks who are going to play inside. You got folks going to be shooting 3-pointers from the outside. And I think that's important. Like, what is the strategy? That word has got to become a part of our mindset consistently in these times. What is our strategies going forward? How do we want to affect change? You hear all these conversations about, you said it's a part of the police community. Do you just reform the police? Do you defund the police? I mean, these are legitimate questions. Well, if we don't have the police, hypothetically, then are we prepared to actually police, quote unquote, our communities? That's a question that people are raising, that I've heard from folks. The other folks like, let's get rid of all of it. I mean, there has to be a plan of action for everything, because otherwise we're just throwing out words and phrases that don't really lead to anywhere other than just kind of hitting the air and dropping to the ground.
Correct.
Was someone speaking?
No, I think we're good. You may have been hearing some background on some. We're in the Broke as Hell studios, so we're a lean, mean operation here.
That's all right.
Yes, sir. But Kevin, we certainly appreciate you staying with us this evening, and I know you stayed a lot longer than you actually had time for. But you really touched some nerves today, and I mean that in a good way. And again, we're just so happy that you were here, and of course, we're just proud of your success as an author. And of course, as a member of the greatest fraternity in the world, and
ever.
That's right. That's right.
And what's that book that's coming out, or is it out, or is it coming?
Yes, sir. It's out now. It's called "When We Free the World."
Okay.
When We Free the World, and it's about the present and future of America. And the cover purposely has children of all different backgrounds, young people, I should say, from age 8 or 9 to 20 somethings. People can get it exclusively right now, the ebook and audiobook. The audiobook will be on Apple Books next week. The ebook is there right now, and by the fall we'll have a print version of it that'll be on Amazon, black bookstores all around the country. But I wanted to do this partnership with Apple really quickly because it was really important for me to kind of explore technology and new ways to get books out there, to be honest with you all. And I'm really excited about what we're doing with it. Yeah.
No, we're going to get that.
Absolutely.
And Yolanda, are you still there?
I'm still here.
And your book is out there too.
That's
we're going to put that out there too.
Yes, and thank you for calling, Yolanda. I didn't mean to ignore you.
No, that's all right.
No problem.
No, I've talked to her about getting on the show before, and we're going to have
finally got her on. Good for you.
We're going to have to do that. Get you and a couple of your authors, your co-authors too.
Yeah, right? No, we could do some intergenerational stuff.
I love
it. And that's the part that's
intergender stuff, like women and men, like older people and younger people, and you should do that.
Yeah, and we will. We will definitely do that, because I'm sitting here now. I'm in the middle of this. As I said, I'm post civil rights son. I got a daughter now who's about to be 21, who is like, Dad, I'm into this thing. This whole George Floyd thing has fueled her, and we went to a protest.
There we go.
And she's like, I want to go to a protest. Can we go? I'm like, what the hell am I gonna say? Yeah, we can go. Let's.
And who made you take her to the protest?
okay, Auntie.
I
I was going to take her. I could not take her. I mean,
right. Okay.
I wanted to go to.
Very clear on this.
I was clear. I had to take her. You know, and she did a you know, she's written a poem and she put it out there on Facebook and everything. It's called Dear America, and she did her thing, and she
love it.
you know,
I love it.
and there was one line in there in something else that she did. She did a whole. She's a film student at UNC School of the Arts, and she's doing. She did a film on a short film on that talked about diversity and inclusion, but didn't use any people at all. Used shoes. I mean,
wow, that's great.
It's called Unmatched. It was like crazy, and one of the lines that she said in it, and it goes back to what you were talking about, Kevin, is that she said everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Wow.
And I had never heard a deeper line. I was like, dang, I wish, I helped give birth to her. I helped, but it's all her. I mean, that is her. I mean,
my question is, how can we watch the film? How can we watch your daughter's film? I want to see that.
I'll have to send it to you. I'll get the okay from her, and I'll send it to you.
Sounds powerful. It's very creative.
We're about to go on a road trip.
Oh, okay. You're going to take her on a road trip? Good, Auntie. Thank you, Auntie. Good deal.
No, I thought she told you.
That's good. No, I'm saying that's good. I'm saying good. She did.
She's all excited about it. We're gonna go. Let's go on a road trip. We're gonna either go north or we're gonna go south, and you can make a movie. But figure out what movie you want to make. And we've been back and forth, and she's like putting all this stuff together. She's all into it.
All right, and that was the other thing on that film that she did. It had to be shot with her cell phone because we were in quarantine, so everybody had to shoot it on cell phone. Right. And she decided to do a stop motion thing, a stop motion film. So you know how long that took, but it's 3 or 4 minutes. I'll send it to you, Kevin. I'll send it to you.
I can't wait. And Miss Caraway, I know Leah Daughtry, I know Veronica Chambers, I know Donna Brazil. I know all the folks with your book, so it's an honor to connect with you. Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn with the Daughtries.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I know the Daughtries well. Those are my folks. Yeah.
Good deal. The world is small.
Yes, it is.
Right. Black world is very small.
It's even smaller than black.
Right.
That's a good thing. Chief.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed being with you guys.
I enjoyed it, and we'll have to make it happen again. And Kevin,
thank you so much.
This is
thank you.
Second time you've been with us, so we're sure we'll touch back with you.
Yes,
and we'll make sure that we next time we get back 3. I can't believe you had 14 books, man. I didn't know you had 14 books.
Yeah. That's that Southern upbringing from my mama. You got to work hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got to talk to you more about the discipline about writing.
That's right.
I got advice for hit me up on email because when you send me your daughter's film on email, just get my email from Brother Blow.
Okay, We'll do. So, Chief, we're going to have to go ahead and roll. This has been a fantastic show. This conversation is going to continue. We're going to continue this week after week. I think we kind of know what we got to do, Chief. We kind of keep this rolling.
That's right. That's right.
And take different aspects of it each time.
And Kevin, absolutely. And Kevin, I just want to say again that that's the first time in my lifetime that I've heard someone talk about actually witnessing a lynching. That was very powerful. And, I can't tell you how, I had to sit back for a minute because I can't imagine having that ingrained in my memory. So thank you so much for the conversation. And thank you for, pulling that out of our listeners. She grew up in Georgia, in Buena Vista, Georgia, and you know how things are now. But to just have that person to call and share that with us was just amazing. So thank you for, getting us to that point.
No, and I appreciate you all. This has been excellent. I thank you all for the opportunity as always. And I look forward to coming back one day soon and just chopping up with y'all again. And the blessings to your listeners out there. And let's pray for this country and this world. And, and thank you for being my fraternity brothers. Real talk.
6.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right. That's
God
right.
bless.
God bless.
Likewise.
Take care. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love
All
you
right.
too.
Thanks, Sam.
Take
Talk
care.
to you.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, Chief.
Yes, sir.
This show has been fantastic.